one thing that really, makes relationship between investors and founders quite touchy and difficult is when investors say no. Unfortunately, investors do say a lot of no's, including us at Rukum. And it's one of those difficult sort of things to do. Founders feel that, oh, we should get feedback, but investors also feel that sometimes having that kind of time, bandwidth to give a really deep, detailed feedback is also not always possible. There are other times when founders will say that, oh, is there something we can do better? But sometimes there's really not much you can do to make things better for that particular investor. So even if an investor was to give you a very, very specific point of view, remember, it'll be only their point of view. Very rarely will a VC or an investor have a full, broad view of what doesn't work. So really understanding what a no means and how to handle it, I think, is one of the most important things. Also, do remember that founders also routinely say no to investors. So it's a two-way street. It's really not a one-way street the way it is sort of projected. Investors talk a little less about the no's that they hear, but they hear it too. So, Rahul Chaudhary, founder and partner at Stellaris, had put out a lovely LinkedIn post as to how he believes in giving candid feedback. And, if I read some of the comments to that, and again, it was sort of counterproductive to the point that Rahul was making. And, and I think that's wherein lies the gap between how you handle accept no. Like with everything else in life, and I think the core skill of a founder is to be able to understand the person across the table, in this case the investor, the reasons for the investor for saying no. There could be some really good reasons, and of course there are always also bad faith actors everywhere. So yes, sometimes investors do collect information and data. Sometimes, they are wishy-washy. So I'm not saying that the world of investors is perfect, but what I'm trying to say is that as a founder, you have to be able to understand and analyze who is taking you down the garden path, who's serious. But within that seriousness, there will, sometimes be multiple rounds of interactions, and it could still lead to an eventual no. So learn to handle that with some degree of, I would say, professionalism, which is to really move on. Whether an investor has lost out on you and your business, it's fine. It's the investor's loss, and they'll have to deal with it one way or the other. But as a founder, it's important to move on. It's important to understand that not everybody will be, really entranced by your idea, your business, and whatever you're building. Everybody has their own frame of reference, their own frame of understanding a sector, a business, an idea. And it's okay. I mean, somebody saying no doesn't destroy your business. You have to find other ways to get to the goal that you've been trying to reach. And again, that's a fundamental core skill for a founder. So to my mind, in the new year, handle both rejection and acceptance, the term sheet, with equal amount of sort of zen state, I would say, because neither of the two things will decide your future in the way you think it does today.